Welcome back to Talk Sophia, your daily English practice space.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan, here with my beautiful friend, Sophia.
And today's topic is one that I think so many people can relate to. We're talking about flight trips, how to talk about flying in English.
Yes, whether you're a frequent flyer or someone getting ready for their very first flight, this lesson is packed with useful vocabulary and natural phrases for every stage of a trip, from booking your ticket all the way to landing at your destination.
This is perfect if you travel internationally, if you work with people who travel, or if you simply want to understand conversations about flying. Airports, airplanes, and travel are topics that come up constantly in English conversations.
So if you're ready to take your English to new heights, pun intended, you're in the right place. And if you enjoy our lessons, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode.
We post new content every day, so there's always something to learn.
All right, are you ready?
Let's fly.
So Ryan, how are you today?
I am so good today. I'm in a really great mood, actually.
Oh, why's that?
Because I just booked a flight last night. I'm going on a trip next month, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, wow. Where are you going?
I'm going to Portugal, Lisbon specifically. I've always wanted to go, and I finally just did it. I booked the ticket, and now it's real.
That's amazing. I love Lisbon. The food is incredible, and the city is so beautiful. How long is the flight?
About 7 hours from here. It's a pretty long flight, so I'm already thinking about what to pack in my carry-on to keep me busy.
Smart thinking. You always want to be prepared for a long flight. What about you? Did you do anything interesting this weekend?
Actually, yes. Besides booking the flight, I also went to pick up a new suitcase. My old one broke last year on a trip. The wheel just fell off at the airport. It was a disaster.
Oh no, a broken suitcase at the airport is one of the most stressful things.
It really is. I was dragging it across the terminal on 3 wheels. Not a great look.
I can picture it. Well, I had a quieter weekend. I stayed home mostly and organized my travel documents because I am actually going on a trip next week.
Oh, really? Where are you going?
I'm going to Japan for a conference. I'm very excited, but also a little nervous because it's a very long flight, almost 14 hours.
14 hours? That's a serious flight. Do you have any tips for surviving a long flight?
I have many, and speaking of flights and everything that goes with them, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into it.
Perfect timing, as always.
Okay, so let's talk about a flight trip from the very beginning. And the very beginning, even before you get to the airport, is booking your flight. Have you ever booked a flight online?
Yes, all the time now. I used to call a travel agent, but that was years ago. Now I just use apps or websites. It's much easier.
Right. When you book a flight, there are some important choices to make. First, you choose your dates. Then you choose a direct flight or a connecting flight. Do you know the difference?
I think so. A direct flight goes straight from one city to another with no stops, and a connecting flight has a stop in the middle?
Exactly right. A direct flight takes you from point A to point B without landing anywhere in between. A connecting flight, also called a layover flight, stops at another airport before continuing to your final destination.
I prefer direct flights when possible. I hate the stress of changing planes.
Me too. But connecting flights are often cheaper, so sometimes you have to choose. And a layover is the time you spend waiting at the middle airport. Some layovers are short, like 1 or 2 hours. Some are very long, 8 or 10 hours.
I had a 10-hour layover in Dubai once. It was actually amazing because I got to explore the airport. The Dubai airport is huge and has a mall inside it.
That's a great way to make the most of a long layover. Some people even leave the airport and do a short tour of the city during a long layover.
Oh, that's smart. Okay, so after you book the flight, when do you go to the airport?
Generally, for international flights, you should arrive at the airport about 3 hours before your departure time. For domestic flights, which are flights within the same country, 2 hours is usually enough.
Departure. That means when the plane leaves, right?
Correct. Departure is when the plane takes off and leaves. The opposite is arrival, which is when the plane lands at the destination.
Right. And you see those words on big screens at the airport, departures and arrivals.
Exactly. When you arrive at the airport, the first thing you need to do is check in. Do you know what check-in means?
Yes, check-in is when you confirm your presence for the flight and drop off your large luggage.
That's right. You can check in online before you even get to the airport. This is called online check-in. Or you can check in at the airport, at a counter or a self-service kiosk.
I always do online check-in when I can. It saves so much time.
Me too. When you check in, you get your boarding pass. This is the document, or it can be on your phone, that allows you to get on the plane.
The boarding pass has all your information on it, right? Like your name, your flight number, your departure time, your gate number, and your seat number.
It's a very important document. Don't lose it.
I almost forgot my boarding pass in a coffee shop once. I left it on the table and had to run back.
Oh no, that would be so stressful. I always keep mine in a safe place, usually in a dedicated pocket in my bag.
Yes, I learned my lesson. Okay, so you have your boarding pass. What comes next?
The next step is dropping off your checked luggage, if you have any. Checked luggage or checked baggage means the large bags that go underneath the plane and the cargo hold, not the bags you carry with you on the plane.
Right. And there are limits on how much your checked luggage can weigh.
Yes, this is very important. Most airlines have a weight limit of around 23 kilograms or about 50 pounds per bag for economy class. If your bag is heavier, you have to pay extra fees.
Excess baggage fees. I had to pay one once and it was so expensive. I had packed too many books.
Books are heavy. That's why I use an e-reader when I travel now.
Smart. How do you know if your bag is too heavy before you get to the airport?
I have a small luggage scale at home. You attach it to your bag handle and lift the bag, and it shows you the weight. It's a very useful travel tool.
I should get one of those. What about carry-on luggage? What's the difference?
Carry-on luggage, or hand luggage, is the small bag you bring with you onto the plane. It goes in the overhead bin, the storage compartment above your seat.
Right, and carry-on bags also have size limits.
Yes, most airlines allow a carry-on bag of about 55 by 40 by 20 centimeters. If it's bigger than that, you might have to check it in.
I always try to travel with just carry-on luggage when possible. It saves time at baggage claim after the flight.
That's a great strategy. Baggage claim is the area at the destination airport where you wait to collect your checked bags after landing.
And it can take a while. I've waited 20, 30 minutes before for my bag.
It depends on the airport and how busy it is. Okay, so after you check in and drop off your bags, the next step is security.
Oh yes, airport security. That's always an interesting experience.
It really is. At security, you have to go through a screening process. You put your bags on a conveyor belt and they go through an X-ray machine.
And you walk through a metal detector.
In many airports, yes. You also have to take off your shoes sometimes.
In many airports, yes. You also have to take out your laptop and put it in a separate tray. And you need to put liquids in a small, clear plastic bag.
The liquid rule. That's always confusing for first-time travelers.
It is. The rule is that liquids in your carry-on must be in containers of 100 milliliters or less, and all your liquids must fit in one small, clear Ziploc bag.
So you can't bring a large bottle of water through security.
Right. You have to either finish it or throw it away before you go through security, but then you can buy water on the other side after security.
Water at airports is so expensive, though. It is. A tip is to bring an empty, reusable water bottle. You can fill it up at water fountains after security for free.
That's such a good tip. I wish I had known that earlier. Okay, so after security, what's next?
After security, you're in the departure area, also called the departure lounge. This is where the gates are. Your gate is the specific door you board the plane from.
And your gate number is on your boarding pass.
Exactly. You find your gate and wait there until it's time to board.
Board means to get on the plane.
How do you know when to board?
There are announcements over the loudspeaker. The airline staff will say something like, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready to begin boarding for flight BA287 to Tokyo. Please have your boarding pass and passport ready."
I love that announcement. It always makes me feel excited. The trip is actually starting.
Me too. And usually they board in groups or zones. Business class boards first, then frequent flyers, then economy class in sections.
So it can take a while for everyone to get on.
Yes, be patient. And once you're on the plane, you find your seat. Your seat number is on your boarding pass.
Can you choose your seat when you book?
Yes, usually. Most airlines let you select your seat during booking or check-in. Some seats are free to choose, and some have an extra charge, like exit row seats or seats with more legroom.
Legroom. What does that mean?
Legroom is the space you have in front of your seat for your legs. If you're tall, legroom is very important. Economy class seats don't always have a lot of legroom.
I always look for seats with more legroom. I'm not that tall, but sitting in a cramped seat for 8 hours is not fun for anyone.
Definitely not. The exit row seats and bulkhead seats usually have more space. Bulkhead means a wall or partition at the front of a cabin section, so a bulkhead seat is right in front of that wall.
And there's no seat in front of you, so you have more room.
Exactly. Okay, you're in your seat, the plane is preparing for takeoff. What happens?
The flight attendants do their safety demonstration. They show you how to use the seatbelt, where the emergency exits are, and what to do if the oxygen masks come down.
Right. It's important to pay attention, even if you've flown many times before. The layout of each plane is slightly different.
I'll be honest, I used to just watch the movie during the safety demonstration, but now I actually pay attention.
Good. It's important. And when the plane is taxiing, which means slowly moving along the runway before takeoff, you must have your seatbelt fastened, your seat in the upright position, and all electronic devices on airplane mode.
Airplane mode, that's a phone setting, right?
Yes. Airplane mode turns off the wireless and cellular signals on your device. You can still listen to music or watch downloaded movies, but you're not connected to the internet or making calls.
Most planes have Wi-Fi now, though.
Many do. You can often purchase Wi-Fi on the plane. But during takeoff and landing, even with Wi-Fi available, you should follow the cruise instructions about devices.
Makes sense. Okay, so the plane takes off, we're in the air. What happens during the flight?
Once you're at cruising altitude, meaning the height the plane flies at during most of the journey, the seatbelt sign usually turns off. This means you can get up and move around.
And the flight attendant starts serving food and drinks.
Yes. On longer flights, you usually get a meal. On short flights, maybe just a snack and a drink.
What kind of food do they serve? It's always interesting.
Usually, you have a choice of 2 or 3 options. The flight attendant will come around and ask. They might say, "Would you like the chicken or the pasta?" Or, "We have beef or a vegetarian option."
Vegetarian option, that means no meat, right?
Correct. A vegetarian meal has no meat or fish. Many airlines also offer other special meals if you request them in advance, like vegan, halal, kosher, or gluten-free meals.
You have to request those in advance? You can't just ask on the plane?
Usually, yes. You request special meals when you book your ticket or through your booking online, not on the day of the flight.
Good to know. I have a friend who is vegetarian and she always requests her meal in advance. She says the vegetarian options are often actually better than the regular meals.
A lot of people say that. What's your favorite part about the in-flight experience?
Honestly, the in-flight entertainment, the little screen in front of you with movies, TV shows, and music. I can watch 3 movies in a row on a long flight. It's the one time I don't feel guilty about it.
I love in-flight entertainment too. I usually watch movies I wouldn't normally take the time to watch at home.
Do you sleep on long flights?
I try to. I bring a neck pillow and an eye mask. A neck pillow is a U-shaped pillow that supports your head and neck so you can sleep while sitting upright.
I can never sleep on planes. I don't know how people do it. I just can't get comfortable.
It's genuinely difficult in economy class. Some people take melatonin or other sleep aids, and choosing a window seat can help because you can lean against the wall.
Oh, the window versus aisle seat debate. What do you prefer?
I prefer window seat. I love looking at the sky and the clouds, and you have something to lean on. What about you?
I prefer aisle seat. I like being able to get up and walk around without disturbing anyone, and I go to the bathroom a lot on long flights.
That's a very practical reason.
Very practical. Speaking of practical things, what about turbulence? That can be scary for some people.
Turbulence is definitely something many people worry about. Turbulence is when the plane shakes or bumps due to air pressure changes. It can feel alarming, but it's usually not dangerous.
I know it's not dangerous, but my stomach still drops a little every time.
Same. The best thing to do during turbulence is keep your seatbelt fastened, even when the seatbelt sign is off. The captain usually makes an announcement warning you before turbulence.
They'll say something like, "We are expecting some turbulence ahead. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts," right?
Exactly. And the flight attendants will stop their service and take their seats too. That's also a sign that it might be bumpy.
Good things to know. Okay, now we're approaching the destination. What happens as the flight is ending?
About 30 to 45 minutes before landing, the crew prepares for arrival. The flight attendants collect any remaining cups and wrappers, and the captain announces, "We will be landing in approximately 40 minutes."
And then you see the fasten seatbelt sign turn on again.
Yes, and you need to put your tray table up, your seat in the upright position, and open the window shade if you have a window seat.
I love looking out the window during descent. You can see the city getting closer and closer.
It's such a beautiful view. And then you feel the wheels touch the ground. That's called touchdown.
And sometimes everyone claps.
Yes, in some cultures and on some flights, passengers clap when the plane lands. It's a way of celebrating a safe arrival.
I always feel relieved when we land. Not that I'm super nervous, but there's just a sense of relief.
I think most people feel that. Okay, so you've landed. What happens next?
You have to wait for the plane to taxi to the gate. That can take a while too.
And then, when the door opens, everyone gets up immediately and it becomes a queue to get out, even though you can't really go anywhere for a few minutes.
Haha, yes. Everyone jumps up the moment the seatbelt sign goes off. I used to do that too. Now I just sit and wait calmly.
Very wise. Once you get off the plane, if you're in a foreign country, you go through passport control or immigration.
What happens there?
You wait in a line, and an immigration officer checks your passport and your visa, if you need one. They might ask you some questions like, what is the purpose of your visit? Or, how long are you staying?
And what are good answers?
Simple and clear. I'm here for tourism, I'm staying for 10 days. Or, I'm here for a business conference, I'll be here for 5 days.
Easy enough. What about customs? Is that the same as immigration?
No, they're different. Immigration is about checking your identity and right to enter the country. Customs is about what goods you're bringing into the country. After you collect your bags, you go through customs.
And you might have to declare things.
Yes, to declare means to officially tell customs officers about things you're bringing in, especially food, large amounts of money, or goods you bought to sell. If you have nothing to declare, you walk through the green channel.
Green channel and red channel. I've seen those signs.
Green means nothing to declare. You can walk through quickly. Red means you have something to declare and need to speak with a customs officer.
Got it. And after customs, you're free. You're officially in the new country.
You are. And then you might take a taxi, a bus, or a train to your hotel or destination.
And the adventure begins.
Exactly. Flying can feel overwhelming, but when you break it down step by step, it's very manageable, and knowing the vocabulary makes every step much easier.
Absolutely. I feel like we've just taken a full flight together without leaving the studio.
A very comfortable flight with no turbulence.
The best kind.
You know, Ryan, while we were talking, we used so many useful words and phrases related to flights and air travel. Let's go through the most important ones now so our viewers can really understand and remember them.
Great. I love this section. And honestly, air travel has so much specific vocabulary. Let's make sure everyone knows the key words.
Perfect. First word, departure. This is a noun. Departure means the act of leaving a place, especially when a plane takes off and leaves an airport.
Yes, the departure time is when the plane is scheduled to leave. For example, my departure time is 6 in the morning, so I need to wake up at 3.
Exactly. You'll see departures written on signs at the airport, directing you to the area where you check in and board your flight.
The opposite of departure is arrivals. Arrivals is where you go to meet people who are landing.
Right. For example, I'll meet you at the arrivals hall after you collect your bags. What time is your departure for Portugal next month, Ryan?
My flight departs at 8 in the morning, which means I need to be at the airport by 5, very early.
Ouch. Worth it, though. Next word, layover. This is a noun. A layover is a period of waiting at an intermediate airport during a connecting flight.
So if I fly from New York to London and my plane stops in Dublin for 2 hours before continuing to London, those 2 hours in Dublin are my layover.
Exactly. Layovers can be short, just 1 or 2 hours, or very long, 10 hours or more. A very long layover is sometimes called a stopover.
Is there a difference between layover and stopover?
Generally, a layover is shorter and a stopover is longer, long enough that you might leave the airport and explore. But in everyday conversation, people often use them interchangeably.
Good to know. Have you ever had a really long layover, Sophia?
Yes, I once had a 9-hour layover in Singapore. I actually left the airport and went to see the gardens by the bay. It was wonderful.
That's amazing. A layover turned into a mini adventure.
Exactly. Next word, boarding pass. This is a noun. A boarding pass is the document, paper or digital, that gives you permission to board your flight.
It has your name, your flight number, your seat number, your gate, and your boarding time. For example, please have your boarding pass and passport ready before you approach the gate.
Right, and nowadays, many people use a digital boarding pass on their phone. It's very convenient.
Though I always worry my phone battery will die right when I need to show it.
That's why I sometimes print a paper copy as a backup. Better safe than sorry.
Good advice. Next word?
Next word, carry-on. This is a noun and adjective. Carry-on refers to the bag you bring with you onto the plane, also called hand luggage in British English.
As opposed to checked luggage, which goes under the plane. For example, I always try to travel with just a carry-on bag so I don't have to wait at baggage claim.
Exactly. The verb is to carry on. I decided to carry on this bag instead of checking it. And carry-on bags have size and weight restrictions, so always check your airline's rules before you travel.
I once had my carry-on bag taken away at the gate because it was too big. I had to check it last minute. It cost me an extra fee.
Oh no, that's stressful. Always measure your bag before you go to the airport.
Lesson definitely learned. Next word?
Next word, turbulence. This is an uncountable noun. Turbulence is the irregular, bumpy movement of a plane caused by changes in air pressure or wind.
It's that shaking feeling you get on a plane. For example, the captain warned us about turbulence over the mountains, so I kept my seatbelt on.
Exactly. Turbulence ranges from very mild, just a gentle shake, to severe, which is more dramatic and can be unsettling.
Unsettling is a good word for it. Your stomach drops and everything rattles.
Right. But it's important to know that modern planes are designed to handle turbulence safely. It looks and feels scary, but it's rarely truly dangerous.
That reassurance helps me every time. Turbulence is normal, I have to remind myself.
The adjective is turbulent. It was a turbulent flight. We also use this word outside aviation. A turbulent time means a difficult, unstable period.
For example, it was a turbulent year for the company. Same idea, bumpy and unpredictable.
Great connection. Next word, customs. This is a noun. Customs is the official process of checking goods that people bring into a country. It also refers to the area at the airport where this check takes place.
Yes, we talked about this. After you collect your bags, you go through customs. For example, I had to declare the cheese and fruit I bought at the market when I went through customs.
Right. The verb is to declare. You must declare all food items when entering the country. If you declare something, you officially tell the customs officer about it.
And if you don't declare something you should have, you can get in trouble.
Exactly. Always be honest at customs. It saves a lot of problems.
Do you have anything to declare? That's the classic question.
Right. And the simple answer, no, I have nothing to declare, or yes, I'd like to declare some food items.
Got it. Next word?
Next word, descent. This is a noun. Descent means the process of moving downward. In aviation, it's when the plane starts going lower in preparation for landing.
So after cruising altitude, the plane begins its descent toward the destination airport. For example, during the descent, I could see the city lights below. It was beautiful.
Exactly. The verb is to descend. The plane began to descend about 40 minutes before landing. The opposite is ascent, going up, which happens during takeoff.
So we have ascent going up and descent coming down. Easy to remember.
Right, and during descent, your ears might pop because of the change in air pressure. Chewing gum or swallowing can help with that.
Oh yes, ear popping on planes is so uncomfortable. Good tip about the gum.
Next word, immigration. This is a noun. Immigration, in the airport context, is the official process of checking your identity and right to enter a country.
So every time you land in a foreign country, you go through immigration. An officer checks your passport and asks about your visit. For example, the immigration officer asked me how long I plan to stay.
Right. And typical questions at immigration include, what is the purpose of your visit? How long are you staying? And where will you be staying?
And your answer should be simple and clear. I'm here for tourism. I'm staying for 2 weeks at a hotel in the city center.
Perfect. Don't overthink it. Just be honest and direct.
Immigration and customs are different steps, right? So you do both when you arrive internationally?
Yes. Immigration first, checking who you are, and then customs checking what you're bringing.
I always mix those up. Now I'll remember, immigration is about you, customs is about your stuff.
That's a perfect way to remember it. Last word? Last word. Legroom. This is a noun. Legroom is the amount of space in front of your seat for your legs to stretch.
Economy class seats on many airlines have limited legroom. For example, I always try to book a seat with extra legroom because I like to stretch my legs.
Exactly. Legroom is measured in inches or centimeters. It's the distance between your seat and the seat in front of you.
And airlines with more legroom in economy are generally considered more comfortable. It's something to look at when comparing airlines.
Absolutely. Exit row seats and bulkhead seats typically offer the most legroom in economy class.
Though exit row seats come with responsibilities, you have to be willing and able to help in an emergency.
Very true. The flight attendants will ask you about that when you sit there.
And you have to answer yes. If you say you can't help, they'll move you to a different seat.
Correct. Good to know. All right, let's review all the vocabulary words from today. We learned departure, the act of leaving, especially when a plane takes off. Layover, waiting time at an intermediate airport. Boarding pass, the document that allows you to board your plane. Carry-on, the bag you bring with you onto the plane. Turbulence, bumpy movement of the plane due to air pressure changes. Customs, the official check of goods you bring into a country. Descent, the downward movement of the plane before landing. Immigration, the official check of your identity and right to enter a country. And legroom, the space in front of your seat for your legs to stretch.
Wonderful. I feel like I could give a guided airport tour now.
You'd be a great airport guide, Ryan. Okay, Ryan, that was a lot of talking about flight trips.
It really was. We basically went on a whole flight together, from booking to landing. My ears are even popping a little from all the imaginary descent.
Let's do a quick but thorough review so our viewers can remember everything clearly.
Great idea.
First, we talked about planning and booking your flight. Before you even go to the airport, you choose between a direct flight and a connecting flight. A direct flight goes straight to your destination. A connecting flight has a layover in between. Key phrases include, I booked a direct flight, I have a 2-hour layover, and I prefer window seat over aisle seat.
Then we talked about arriving at the airport and checking in. You should arrive 3 hours early for international flights. You check in, either online or at the airport, and get your boarding pass. You drop off your checked luggage and remember the weight limit, usually 23 kilograms. Key phrases, I'd like to check in for my flight, can I check my bag, and here's my boarding pass.
After that, we covered going through security. You put your bags through the X-ray machine, take off your shoes, and put your liquids in a small, clear bag. Key phrases, please remove your shoes, liquids must be 100 milliliters or less, and put your laptop in a separate tray.
Then we discussed the flight itself, from boarding to landing. You find your seat, listen to the safety demonstration, and the plane takes off. During the flight, you enjoy in-flight entertainment, meals, and try to sleep. During turbulence, keep your seatbelt fastened. Key phrases, fasten your seatbelt, would you like the chicken or the pasta, and we are beginning our descent.
And finally, we talked about arriving at your destination. After landing, you go through immigration with your passport, collect your bags at baggage claim, and go through customs. Key phrases, the purpose of my visit is tourism, I have nothing to declare, and where do I collect my bags?
When you put it all together, a flight trip follows a very clear step-by-step process. And now you know the English vocabulary for every single step.
Exactly. Once you know these words and phrases, traveling by plane in English becomes so much more manageable and less stressful.
Practice these phrases and your next flight will feel like a breeze. Pun also intended.
Good one, Ryan.
Now, we want to hear from you. This is our favorite part of every episode.
See, we genuinely love reading your comments. They always make us smile and help us understand your experiences.
Our question of the day is, what is one thing you always do or always bring on a flight to make it more comfortable? It could be something you pack, something you do, or a habit you have.
I'll go first. My number one thing is my neck pillow. I never travel without it. Long flights are so much more bearable when I can sleep comfortably. I also always bring noise-canceling headphones because the engine noise can be exhausting over many hours. Combined with the neck pillow, I can actually sleep on long flights, which makes the time pass so much faster.
Those are great items. For me, my number one thing is downloading movies and shows before the flight. I always download at least 4 or 5 hours of content to my phone or tablet before I board. That way, even if the in-flight entertainment isn't great or if there's no Wi-Fi, I always have something to watch. Oh, and I always bring snacks. Airplane food isn't always my favorite, so I pack some of my own favorites.
See, we have different strategies, and that's perfectly okay. Sophia focuses on sleep comfort, and Ryan focuses on entertainment and food. Both are valid.
There's no single right answer here.
So, viewers, we want to know, what is your travel essential? The one thing you always bring or always do on a flight?
Tell us in the comments. You can write something like, I always bring X because Y.
Or, my travel essential is X, it helps me Y.
Or even, I always X on a flight because Y.
We would love to read your travel tips. Not only does it help us create better and more relevant lessons for you, but it's also wonderful English writing practice. Describing habits and giving reasons is a very important communication skill.
And who knows, your tip might help a fellow viewer have a better flight.
So share your travel essential in the comments below. We can't wait to read them all.
And that brings us to the end of today's lesson. What a journey it has been, all without leaving our seats.
The most comfortable flight ever. Thank you so much for learning with us today. We hope this lesson gives you the confidence to navigate airports and talk about flights with ease in English.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps our channel and lets other English learners find our videos.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now. Click the subscribe button and the little notification bell right next to it. That way you'll never forget to join us and you'll always know when a new lesson is ready.
We upload new English conversation videos every day. There is always something new and useful waiting for you here.
You are all wonderful students, and we are so proud of everyone who takes the time to practice and improve their English. It takes real dedication, and you should feel great about it.
Keep going. Remember, every new word you learn is a new tool in your language toolkit. The more tools you have, the more confident you become.
And the best way to truly learn these phrases is to use them in real situations. Next time you're at an airport or talking about travel, try using the vocabulary from today. You've got this.
We believe in you 100%.
All right, everyone, that's all for today. Have a wonderful day, evening, and night, wherever you are in the world.
Safe travels to everyone with a trip coming up. We hope it's a smooth flight with zero turbulence.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.